Hello and welcome to Rathod's IS. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 24th July 2023. So, let us try to start our analysis by seeing a brief introduction. And after that, we are going to see the detailed analysis and also we are going to see the newspaper PDF at last. So, here I am going to make you understand how you have to connect static syllabus with current affairs and how can we identify whether this topic is important or not from our syllabus point of view. So don't skip the video, so watch the video until the end so that you will be getting a lot of insights regarding how to read a newspaper. So here the first topic it is about the politics of Uniform Civil Code. So from last 10 to 15 days onwards, this Uniform Civil Code is seen highly in news. So because of this, as an UPSC aspirant, you need to know what exactly is this Uniform Civil Code and whether this Uniform Civil Code is present in our constitution or not, and you have to see which are the provisions talking about Uniform Civil Code, and you have to see whether in India we have this or not. If yes, in which state it has been implemented, and you have to see what are the advantages of implementing this Uniform Civil Code and even what are the challenges. So from prelims point of view, you can get a question regarding this Uniform Civil Code basic facts, like what exactly is this and in which provisions of our constitution, which mainly said about this UCC, and which states had been implemented it. But from mains point of view, you will be getting analysis based question like what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages regarding this Uniform Civil Code. And you can get why need to implement this Uniform Civil Code. Like that you can get analysis based question from mains point of view. So you have to cover both prelims and as well as mains. That means you have to see analysis based points and as well as you have to see static based points. And this topic is important from your polity because there is one provision in your constitution talks about this UCC. And next one is, will generic supply of bedaquiline be accessible or not? So actually this topic is important from two subjects point of view. So what is that? So first one is science and technology. So in science and technology you will be reading a topic called as diseases, right? So in this diseases we will be having non-communicable diseases, communicable diseases, etc. So one of such disease very important is TB, that is tuberculosis. So you might heard about this TB, right? So it is quite common in India. But this TB, it is one of the most important disease. So because of this, lot of lives are losing not only in India, across the worldwide. And in this TB, we have to go for a long treatment plan. It should be like at least for 6 months. So for 6 months continuously you have to take antibiotics. So because of this long use of antibiotics, patients are not using this. So whenever the symptoms of this TB are subsiding, they will be discontinuing these antibiotics. So because of this, there is an emergence of multi-drug resistance in this TB causing organism, that is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So because of this, we need the new drugs, new antibiotics to treat this TB. So one such antibiotic that is used in this multi-resistant tuberculosis is bedaquiline. So which is a company that is producing this bedaquiline? That is J&J, Johnson & Johnson. Yes, I think you might know about this Johnson's baby powder, Johnson's baby oils, Johnson's baby solution, right? So that is the company that is producing or manufacturing this bedaquiline. So actually Johnson & Johnson, which already got patent for this bedaquiline. So patent means it is having the exclusive right for the production. So if any company wants to produce the same product of bedaquiline, it need to take permission from the Johnson & Johnson and it need to pay the lump sum amount for this Johnson & Johnson, and it can take the right to produce that. So this is the concept of patent. But what happened, this patent for this bedaquiline is going to be end soon. So because of this, it want to come up with extension of patent for further 10 more years. So this concept is called as evergreening of patents. So this concept is called as evergreening of patents. So this is a very important concept. So if there is evergreening of patent happens, means what will be the impact? So there will be no production of generic drug of this bedaquiline. So because of this, the cost will be very high. So I think you might know about branded drugs, generic drugs, etc., right? So I think we can connect this topic with even Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Yojana. So in that Jan Aushadhi Yojana, government want to come up with the generic drugs so that the price of the drugs will be less, so that it will be affordable for the poor people, and even we can make healthcare access to this poor also. But in opposite to that, Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Yojana, we have this patent. Okay, so here India is objecting this evergreen patent of bedaquiline. So this is the context. And this topic is important from economy because this patent, copyrights, trademarks, geographical indication, so all this will come under your economy. So as I said, this topic is important from both your science and technology and as well as from your economy point of view. So both comes under your GS paper 3. So this topic is important from both your prelims and mains. So in prelims, how can you expect a question? So you can expect a question regarding the TB, whether it is a bacterial or viral, and you can get a question like TB infected areas, and even government have a plan that we have to end TB in India, okay, target, and even you have to see the different schemes came up by government to end TB in India. So from that point of view, you can get a prelims question, and from mains point of view, you can get a question regarding the evergreening of patent. And next topic is on ED, that is Enforcement Directorate's power to arrest and seek custody. So yesterday in mains answer writing class, Nawaz asked me one question, whether the ministers can be arrested or not. Yeah, that is the case, Nawaz. And one more thing here is, whenever I am asking the question, only 3 people are giving the answers. For example, I got answers from 3 students. So try to give the answer. So whenever you are giving the answers, that will be helpful for you itself. Okay, so don't forget to give the answer whenever I am asking the questions. And this topic is important from polity, which comes in a GS paper 2. And next topic is Japanese foreign minister to visit India this week, discuss vision for global south. So here in yesterday's lecture, I said about why Vietnam is important for India, right? So the same way I want to ask you a question like, so why Japan is important for India? So why India and Japan, they are coming together with a number of projects. So what is the importance of Japan for India? So please let me know at least 2 to 3 points in the comment box. Okay, so Japan foreign minister, he is on visit to the countries in Asia and Africa. So India is present in Asia, right? So here Japanese foreign minister, he is going to visit India in the next week, that is in March. So here they are going to have to discuss about vision of global south. So why I selected this article? Because Japan is very important for India, and I am expecting that you are going to give me the answer in comment box. So if not, I will be going to give you answer in the next day, that is in the tomorrow's lecture. So here you have to focus on this concept called as what is this global south. Okay, so what exactly is this global south is very important. And now there is a shifting of power from the west towards east. So in this context, global south will plays a very important. In south especially, we have China and India. So those 2 countries are the most populous countries in the world. And even you know that India is the 5th largest economy, and even China, it is the largest economy, right? So because of this global south, it is going to play an important role soon. Okay, so in this context, you can expect a question regarding this global south in this year mains for sure. And the students who are going to write this year mains, you have to focus on this global south for sure. Okay, and this topic is important from your international relations, which comes as GS paper 2. So I want to say one more thing. In international relations, you can get 3 questions, and 1 question is from India and its neighborhood. For example, India-Sri Lanka relations, India-Nepal relations, India-China relations, India-Myanmar, India-Bangladesh, India-Pakistan, like that. And you can get India bilateral relations, that is India-USA or India-UK or India-Russia. Okay, and even you can get a question regarding the groupings. For example, you can expect a question from SCO, that is Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or G20. Okay, or you can get a question regarding this G7, okay, G8, So in these areas you can get a question. So especially you can get 3 questions from international relations in your mains. So please be prepared. And next one is widespread support to PM's proposal on African Union membership. So actually you know that India is enjoying the presidency of G20, right? So in this context, our Prime Minister, he came with a proposal that to provide permanent membership for this African Union in this G20. And many of the countries, they gave their support for the proposal of our Prime Minister, and this topic is important from your international relations again. So here what you have to focus exactly. So I want to give you homework. That is, you have to see who are the members of this G20 and let me know the members of the G20 in the comment box. And next one here is you have to know about what is this African Union. Okay. And next topic it is about climate targets are becoming outdated. Yes, India also has some climate targets. So what are those? Tell me in the comment box. There are 3 important targets of India to reach. So what are those? So first one here is carbon neutrality by 2070, and second one is to decrease the temperature and to go for shifting from non-renewable energy towards renewable energy source. And please let me know the values. Okay, so this article is important from your environment and ecology, which comes under GS paper 3. So these are the topics now we are going to see, and this is the brief introduction. Okay, so please don't skip the video and watch the video until the last, so that you will be getting a lot of insights. Okay, so this is my promise. And first topic it is about UCC. So what is this UCC stands for? That is Uniform Civil Code. So this is nothing but Uniform Civil Code. So what is the context? So context here is recently Law Commission of India asked for the views and the proposals from the public regarding this UCC, whether we can go for implementation of this UCC or not. So because of this, now this Uniform Civil Code, it is one of the most debated and politically charged issue in India. So if you see any news channel, so this UCC it is going on. There are a lot of debates that are going on regarding this Uniform Civil Code. So what exactly is this Uniform Civil Code? So if you go to the articles of our Indian Constitution, so there is one article, that is Article 44. So this Article 44 comes under Part 4. So Part 4 is nothing but DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy. So in this Article 24, there is a mention of UCC directly. So if there is a question like UCC, it is present in our constitution, yes or not? Yes, of course, and this statement will be correct because Article 44 of our Indian Constitution talks about UCC. And whether this DPSP are enforceable or not, they are not enforceable. But these DPSP will helpful for the state while making programs and policies. And actually, here it has been supported by some as a way to promote national integration. So this UCC, which is focusing on national integration, it is focusing on national integration and it want to promote gender justice. Okay, so the only state in our country which imposed UCC is Goa. So Goa imposed UCC. And if you're talking about what are the challenges in implementing this UCC, so first and the foremost thing here is, so this UCC says that for all the religions there should be the uniform civil law. But in India we have very diverse in the customs or in the personal laws, in the religion. So we have different religions, people that are living together. Per se, Hindus are there, Christians, Muslims, Parsis, Jains, Sikh, Buddhists, etc. Right? So there are wide range of religions are present in India, and different religions have their different laws regarding the marriage, regarding divorce, etc. So we are having diverse personal laws and as well as customary practices. So India is a country of diverse religions and as well as diverse culture and traditions. So and even each community, they have their own personal laws and customs. So these laws and practices are widely across the regions and sects and the group. So because of this, it is very difficult to impose this uniform civil code in India. And next one is, so if we want to implement this UCC, so there will be the protest will be done by the different religious and even minority groups as well. So this is also one important cause of concern. And next one is, there are practical difficulties and complexities in implementation of this uniform civil code. So this uniform civil code would require a massive exercise of drafting and codifying and harmonizing and rationalizing the various personal laws and practices. So because of this, for the implementation, we are having the practical difficulties. So if we want to go for coming with the drafting, coding, etc. means, so we need to have a wide consultation. We need to have a participation of various stakeholders. For example, from the Hindus we have Pandits. From Muslims we have that gurus, and from the Sikh we have a lot of gurus, and even in the Hindus also we will be having Babas. So we have to consult all those the stakeholders, right? And even there are different religious leaders out there, and even we have different boards will be there. So we have to consult them as well, and we have to consult legal experts and women organizations, etc. So because of this, if we want to implement this, we are having a practical difficulties, and it is a very complex task. And if you are talking about what will be the benefits if we implement this uniform civil code, so we can promote national integration and segregation, because all the religions we are having only one law, right? So this uniform civil code, it will promote national integration and secularism, and it will helpful for creating a common identity and sense of belonging among all the citizens. And it would also reduce the communal and sectarian conflicts also. And even we can uphold constitutional values, for example equality, fraternity, dignity, etc. So we can promote this constitutional values. So this is the first important benefit. And what is the second one? So we can promote gender justice, we can also promote equality. So this uniform civil code will ensure gender justice, equality, for removing the discrimination. So we can remove discrimination, we can remove the oppression which is faced by women under personal laws, and even we can grant equal rights and status to women in the matters of marriage, in the matters of divorce, inheritance, adoption, maintenance, etc. And even we can have another benefit, that is we can go for simplification and rationalization of legal system in India. So this uniform civil code would simplify and rationalize the legal systems by removing the complexities. We can remove the complexities, and we can also remove the contradiction of multiple personal laws, and even it would harmonize the civil and criminal laws by removing anomalies and loopholes that arise due to different personal laws. And next one here is, we can also have one more benefit, that is we can modernize and reform outdated and regressive practices. So if you're talking about this personal laws, for example Hindu code or Muslim personal laws, they are way back, so they are outdated, most of them. So if you're having this UCC, so we can come up with the modernization, okay, and we can reform this outdated and regressive practices as well, and we can ensure that we are conforming this rights or the values which are enshrined in our constitution, okay. And even there are some outdated and regressive practices like triple talaq, polygamy, child marriage are present in the different personal laws, okay. So because of them, we can go for modernization of these laws if you are going with this UCC. So these are some important benefits of implementation of UCC. So I hope it is clear. So if you have any points regarding what are the challenges, what are the benefits, so if you are having any new points, so please let me know in the comment box, okay. And the next topic, it is about bedaquiline. So will generic supply of bedaquiline be accessible or not? So if the patent is accepted, or if there is evergreening of patent of this bedaquiline, so it is not accessible for the poor people, right? So the branded drugs will be costly than compared to these generic drugs. So if there is no patent means, yes, we can go for production of generic drugs, and this generic drug cost is less compared to that of branded drugs, okay. So This article says whether we are going to have this bedaquiline is accessible or not. And as I said, this topic is important from GS paper 3 and it is important from science and technology and economy point of view. So now let us try to see some facts regarding this topic, and also we are going to see analysis point of view. So first of all, why it is in use? So bedaquiline has now become cornerstone to cure this drug resistant tuberculosis. So here already, if you're talking about treatment plan, RX means nothing but treatment. So the treatment plan for this tuberculosis, we have first line drugs and second line drugs. So in first line drugs, we have isoniazid, rifampicin, etc. So if there is resistance to this first line drugs, we will be using this second line drugs. There we will be using penicillin class drugs or cephalosporin drugs, etc. So if there is a resistance to this first line and some second line drugs, so we can see that case is called as multi-drug resistance TB. So in this multi-drug resistance TB, so we have a medicine to treat that TB, that is bedaquiline. So what happened? So last week Johnson & Johnson, which is a pharmaceutical company which is producing this bedaquiline, which is going to apply for this patent, okay, extending of patent, because it has been expired on July 18th. So this is the long awaited expiry. So many companies, pharmaceutical companies, are looking for when this patent will be expired, because they will go for production of generic drugs. So this long awaited expiry will allow the generic manufacturers to supply this drug, but here Johnson & Johnson appears to intend on maintaining the monopoly. So it want to maintain the monopoly over the production of this bedaquiline in the market. So Johnson & Johnson, which filed for the secondary patent, so first patent completed, and it want to extend this patent till 2027. And it got permission from 66 low and middle income countries, and about 34 countries with high burden of TB also gave the permission for the patent. So but what happened? India is facing issue, or India is not accepting for the extending of this patent for this bedaquiline now. Because why? So as you all know that in this pharmaceutical sector, India is very much good. India is doing very much good. And you know that India is the top most country which is supplying the generic drugs to other countries. So for that, India is not accepting for the evergreening of patent regarding this bedaquiline. So if you're talking about why we need to think about this tuberculosis, whether this tuberculosis is that much deadly disease or not. Yes, of course. So tuberculosis is the world's deadliest infectious disease, and it is declared by World Health Organization itself. And each year nearly 500,000 people, they will develop this drug resistance TB, and nearly 10.4 million people, they develop drug sensitive TB. So 1/3 of world population has latent TB. Latent TB means they do not have the symptoms. So no symptoms of TB, but they have infection. So this kind of TB is called as latent TB. So you can understand 1/3 of world's population means how large problem it is, right? And nearly 2.8 million patients in the world, they live in India, making it national public health emergency as well. And globally, drug resistance TB is one of the most important contributor for antimicrobial resistance, and because of this antimicrobial resistance, so this TB is continuing as a public health threat. So because of this, yes, we need the drugs to treat this TB. And if you are talking about in India, a pre-grant opposition is seen. Okay, so India is opposing for the evergreening of patent for this bedaquiline. Okay, so this is about the context. So now let us see some basic facts regarding what exactly is this bedaquiline. So where it is acting. Okay, so bedaquiline, it is an oral medication. That means we are taking this through the oral route, and it is having a mode of action which is very much active, and it is helpful for the treating of this multi-drug resistance of TB, and especially it is having a very unique mechanism of action. So mechanism of action means after we are taking that drug, so it will be dissolved. So that means ADME will be happens. A means absorption. So after absorbing the drug, it will be distributed either in the blood or body fluids, and after the action is done, it will be metabolized. So metabolism which happens in the liver. So after the metabolism is done, so the particles will be eliminated from the body in the form of feces or in the form of urine or sweat. So this is the ADME process after we are taking the drug. So this is the process will be happening, that is ADME. So, and here whenever we are taking the drug after distribution, so it will show the mechanism of action. So mechanism of action is nothing but where it is acting exactly. So it is targeting ATP, that is ATP, adenosine triphosphate synthase enzyme of this bacteria, TB causing bacteria. So whenever ATP is nothing but it is the energy which is produced, okay, by this TB causing organism. So if this enzyme is blocked, means the energy will be not getting by this TB causing organism. Finally, it will lead to the death of this TB causing organism. So this is a very unique mechanism of action. So why it is unique? Because normally this this antibiotics that we are taking to treat this TB, they will be acting on, for example, cell wall. For example, they will be acting in the protein synthesis. So it will be destroying this cell wall like that. But it is acting on directly enzyme which is releasing, which is giving energy for this bacteria. So because of this, we can say this is a unique mechanism. And if you are talking about this Johnson & Johnson patent, so bedaquiline is central to WHO, that is World Health Organization recommended TB treatment regimes, for which Johnson & Johnson which holds the patent. So here Johnson & Johnson filed with the Indian Patent Office for evergreening of its patent on fumarate salt. So actually in this patents we will be having two types of patents. So this is also important. First one is procedure patent. Second one is product patent. So I am talking about in pharmaceutical products. So we have two types of patents. First one is procedure patent, second one is product patent. So procedure patent means nothing but, so we need this so and so compound. So this so and so compound will be prepared by this process 1. So this same product can also be formed by using the second process. Okay. So for already the first process we got the patent, and what will these pharmaceutical companies they will do is, so they will be using this second process, and after the expiry of this patent of first process, they will be initiating patent from the second process. So this is called as procedure patent. So next one is product patent. Product means, for example, so this is the final product, and this product will be having antimicrobial activity, and they will be adding some other compound to this. So in this case of Johnson & Johnson, they added fumarate salt. So it is nothing but the salt formulation of bedaquiline, and they want to extend the patent. Okay, so this is the product patent. And this extending of patent, okay, by using this procedure patent or product patent, so this concept is called as evergreening of patents. So whenever there is evergreening of patents, so there will be the increased cost of medicine. So we will be getting that medicine only in branded form. Only in branded form we will be getting that. And this branded drugs will be costly compared to that of generic drugs. Okay. So Indian Patent Office rejected Johnson & Johnson attempt to extend its monopoly, stating that the invention claimed was obvious and does not involve any inventive steps. So there is nothing invention that is seen here. So because of this, we are not going to accept this patent. And if we are talking about what is this multi-drug resistance TB. So here Mycobacterium tuberculosis, it is a bacteria that causes tuberculosis, and it can develop resistance to antimicrobial drugs. And this multi-drug resistance TB does not respond to at least isoniazid rifampicin. That means these are the first line drugs to treat this TB. So if there is resistance to this isoniazid and rifampicin, so these are the two most powerful anti-TB drugs. So if there is resistance means it is called as multi-drug resistance TB. And most of the people with this TB, they are cured by strictly following 6 months of drug regime. That means they have to take the drugs for continuously for the 6 months. And inappropriate or incorrect use of this antimicrobial drugs, it will have ineffective formulation of the drugs, means what happened, that will lead to the causing of resistance. Okay, and we are also having one more type of TB, that is extensively drug resistance TB. So it is a very rare type here. So here multi-drug resistance TB, that is resistance to isoniazid, rifampicin, and even with this fluoroquinolones. So if it is resistance to isoniazid and rifampicin, it is called as multi-drug TB. So along with this multi-drug resistance TB, if it is also resistance to fluoroquinolone, okay, and it is one of the injectable second line drugs like amikacin, kanamycin, capreomycin, then that type of TB is called as extensively drug resistance TB. So these are some important facts that you have to remember. And next topic, it is about the power of enforcement directorate to arrest and seek custody. And this topic is important from polity point of view. So here recently Madras High Court on July 14th upheld the legality of ministers' arrest by enforcement directorate. So for your question, Nawaz, the answer is here, yes, ministers can be arrested. Okay. So here the legality of minister arrest by enforcement directorate and his subsequent remand in judicial custody in money laundering case. So yesterday I gave you example of this Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So I think you can connect this, right? So here section 65 of Prevention of Money Laundering Act stipulates that the provisions of this criminal procedure code shall apply subject to the condition that same are not consistent with that of PMLA. So if there is any case which is booked under this PMLA will be strong. Okay. So this is the thing which mainly said. And even Supreme Court in one famous case of Chidambaram versus Directorate of Enforcement in 2019, Supreme Court rejected a prayer for anticipatory bail. Anticipatory bail is nothing but pre-arrest bail in the respect to if there is any offence which is made under this Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So if we are talking about this anticipatory bail or pre-arrest bail, it is a legal provision. So under this provision, accused person can apply for a bail before being arrested. Okay, it is present under section 438 of Criminal Procedure Code. But in the case of Prevention of Money Laundering Act, there is no concept of anticipatory bail. And if you are talking about what exactly this Prevention of Money Laundering Act talks about, so it is a criminal law and it is mainly enacted to prevent money laundering and to provide, and it also provide for the confiscation of property also, and which is involved in money laundering and some related matters, and it forms the core of legal framework. And the provision of this act are applicable to all financial institutions and even banks, including RBI and mutual funds, insurance companies and their financial intermediaries. So in all these cases, yes, this Prevention of Money Laundering Act will be applicable, and this will be your prelims question. Okay, so it is applicable to financial institutions, it is applicable to even banks, including RBI. RBI is also included, there is no exemption. And next one is mutual funds are included, insurance companies are included, and even financial intermediaries. So what are the objectives of this Prevention of Money Laundering Act? To prevent money laundering. And if there is any money laundering, we can go for confiscation and seizing of assets, and we can also establish the legal framework for the prevention of money laundering and terrorist financing. And it will be also focusing on strengthening and improving the mechanism for investigation and prosecution of money laundering offences, and it is also focusing on enhancing international cooperation and to fight against money laundering and related crimes. Okay, so this is about this act in detail. And next topic, it is about Japanese foreign minister to visit India this week, and we are going to have discussion on Global South. And as I said, this topic is important from your international relations. So here you have to see the map of Japan. So this is your work. So Japanese foreign minister, he will visit India this week, and he is visiting India as part of 6-nation tour in Asia and as well as Africa. So in Asia and Africa, he is going to have a 6-nation tour in Asia. So one of the countries is India. And he is also having a plan to focus on Japan's cooperation with Global South and Indo-Pacific policy. So Indo-Pacific policy is important here and as well as Global South. So I gave you one question, that is you have to give me the reasons why Japan is important for India. So let me know the answer, okay? Don't forget about this. At least try to think. Use your brain. So start using your brain. So whenever you're starting using your brain, and if you started thinking, you will be getting new ideas daily. So the next, here if you see the details, it says that Government of Japan intends to further strengthen the relations with the countries of Southwest Asia, and they want to move towards free and open Indo-Pacific region. So this is the one idea behind this visit. And in this Indo-Pacific policy, here they are focusing on South Asia, including Sri Lanka's debt restructuring process in a fair and transparent manner. So let me know what are the reasons. What are the reasons for Sri Lanka debt crisis? Sri Lanka debt crisis. So what are the reasons? So already I discussed. There are like 4 to 5 reasons that you can add. So please let me know this as well. So this is your homework. And even Japanese cooperation with India, Bangladesh is seen, and they want to come up with development of industries, industry value chain concept also. So if you see the map here, so this part is Japan. So this is a group of islands. So here we have Hokkaido, here Tohoku, and here we have Shikoku, here we have Kyushu. And if you see the water bodies here, so here we have Sea of Japan. Sea of Japan, it is between Russia, North Korea, South Korea and Japan. And towards right we have North Pacific Ocean. And here south of this Japan, we have this Philippine Sea. Okay, so this is very important. And if you're talking about what is this concept of Global South? So this is a new concept. Yes, of course, it is a new concept. So this Global South refers to the countries which are nothing but these are less developed, underdeveloped and developing countries. It is not exactly based on the location of southern hemisphere or northern hemisphere. So here if you see China, which is present in northern hemisphere, India is present in northern hemisphere, even some Caribbean islands are present in northern hemisphere. But this Global South concept is not based on the geography. It is based on the development. They are developing or less developed or least developed or underdeveloped countries. And these countries are located in Africa, Asia and Latin America. Okay. So America is present entirely in northern hemisphere, right? So even though the countries are present in this Latin America, they will come under the part of this Global South. That means, so this Global South, it is not the concept based on the geography. So this is the one thing which is clear, right? And these nations, they are typically experiencing high levels of poverty because of underdevelopment and income inequality, and they are facing the challenges in living conditions, right? So if you are talking about Global North, which countries comes into this? So they are developed nations, they are richer nations, especially North America, Europe, Oceania, they will come under this Global North. So if you see Oceania, which is present in this entire southern hemisphere, but it is part of Global North. Okay, so don't confuse with this Global South and Global North. It is not based on the geography. So what is the significance of this Global South now? So if you see the Global South, why there is increased influence or increased importance? Because there is a shifting of economic and political power from west towards east. So because of the shift of wealth from North Atlantic to Asia Pacific region, so because of this, yes, there is increased importance. And there are many projections that indicates that by 2030, 3 or 4 largest economies, they are belonging to the Global South. For example, China is there, India is there already. So there is also going to be a lot of impact on geopolitics as well, because of increasing of economical and political power of Global South, which has important implications on this global geopolitics also. So here Asian nations, they are predicted to play a significant role in what experts call them as Asian century. So we are going to have Asian century in the future. So at least in the next generation, okay, so we are going to have this Asian century. And here we are going to talk about this post Western world, which is having the influence of global South challenges, and there will be dominance of global South over this global North. So here in this context, you have to see what are the initiatives of India for this global South. So Indian Prime Minister, he already announced 5 initiatives to support the development of other developing countries. So first and the foremost thing here is we came up with Voice of Global South Summit, which hosted by India in January 2023. And we also have this Global South Center for Excellence. So they are focusing on R&D here, that is research and development. And we are having this Global South Science and Technology Initiative. So this initiative which aims to share Indian expertise in the areas of space technology. So in the science and technology, we are focusing on space because we are going to have new space era in future, and even we are focusing on nuclear energy. And next one is Arogya Maitri project, and we are focusing on essential medical supplies because health and education is very important. And next one is we are having this Global South Young Diplomats Forum. So we are focusing on young officers of foreign ministries. And we are also having this Global South Scholarship Program. We are focusing on education. So education is important, health is important, and we need to go for connecting with the other countries. So here there is a need of foreign ministries, and here the space, it is going to be the future era, that is new space era that we are going to have. So there also Global South can play an important role. Okay, so in all these areas we have 5 initiatives we came up. Okay, and the next topic, it is about African Union membership in this G20, and this topic is also important from your international relations. So here if you see context, it says that our Prime Minister came up with a proposal, that is to include African Union as a permanent member of G20, and a number of many countries, they also supported this proposal. So what is significance of this African Union? So first one is it enhances just, fair, inclusive and representative global architecture and governance. And even African Union, it will support the vision of giving a greater voice to the countries from the global South, because Africa, which was also the part of global South. And if you are talking about some facts regarding this African Union, so African Union was established to replace Organization of African Unity. So these points are important from prelims. Okay, so they are going to promote peace, security and stability in the region, and they want to enhance economic cooperation and to advance in the social, political well-being of African citizens. Okay, and if you're talking about member states, how many member states are there? So these facts are important from prelims. So there are 55 member states, include all recognized sovereign countries in Africa, and the member states, they will actively participate in African Union decision making process, even in summits and some specialized committees and organs. So I want to give you one main question, so please try to answer this question, and you have to write answer within 200 words. So in recent years, India has advocated for greater representation of African countries in the global forums like G20. So discuss significance of India's proposal to grant full membership to this African Union. So I discussed 2 points regarding the significance and how can this initiative contribute to more inclusive and representative global governance architecture. So try to write answer for this question. So don't forget. And if you want to get the evaluation, so please type this answer in the comment box so that you will be getting the remarks also. And next topic, it is about climate targets of becoming outdated. India needs its own. So this article that I found in the last page, that is back page. So here we have to see what are the targets of India regarding this achieving the climate change. Okay, so now let us try to see this topic, and this topic, as I said, important from your environment and ecology. So if you see the context, it says that there is 1.5 degrees centigrade warming target is there, but what happened, this target has not been reached. So because of this, there are number of reports, they shows that we are going to have events because of climate change, and we are facing these events like uneven rainfall. For example, in India, we are having high rainfall in northern part of our country, rather than south, and heat waves in Europe and as well as America, and there is melting of glacier at a faster pace, there is increasing of sea level. So these are the unwanted events that we are seeing, right? So if you see the details, it says that, so we are already having the target under this Paris climate deal of 2015 that we have to decrease the temperature, global temperature, by at least 2 degrees centigrade when you are comparing with it of pre-industrial levels, that is 1990s. But we didn't achieve this target. And if you see here, we have two important things that we have to keep in mind. The first one here is, despite the negotiations among the representatives of world's countries for more than 2 decades, global carbon emissions are not at all decreased. So even though there are a number of summits, even though we are having conference of parties every year and we are coming with different commitments, but there is no decreasing of this global carbon emissions. And next one is, there is a target of 2 degrees centigrade. It is not derived scientifically. So because of this, now economics Nobel laureate William Northers, he says that 1970s that a warming of 2 degrees centigrade above the pre-industrial level could render the planet warmer that it has ever been in the several 100,000 years. So here it is not clear that Earth system models that scientists use to prepare climate predictions can reliably produce the consequences of a world that is warmed by 2 degrees centigrade. So whenever there is increasing of temperature, even scientists, they can't predict what is going to be happening in the future. So now here, if you are talking about India's leadership, so India is playing leadership in G20, so that India should continue its leadership role by demanding the community centered on United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and we have to improve the projections that quantifying the impacts on the larger scale. Okay, so this is about this topic, and let me know what are the steps taken by the countries to control this climate change. So this is your homework. Okay. So now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. So before that, let us try to see a small announcement. So we in Rathod's Eyes, we came up with this daily mains answer writing program for 1 year. So this batch is going to be started soon. So try to join this batch so that you can improve your answer writing skills, because in this UPSC, answer writing plays a very, very important role. So if you are not having the good answer writing skills and answer writing speed and good handwriting, you are out of the game. So don't be out of the game. So try to improve your answer writing skills by joining this course. And here in this course, we are covering each and every topic, that is GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, along with essay and case study. Daily one question is given and you have to write answer and you have to send your answer to our mail ID, so that there will be detailed evaluation of your answer, and we will be giving you the model answer, and there will be live doubt clearance session on every Sunday. Okay, so try to join this course, and if you have any doubts regarding this course, so please call me on this number, that is 8074765513. Okay, so this is also the Telegram number and WhatsApp number, so you can ping me there also. So now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. So this is our today's Hindu. So first topic, it is about over 13,000 detained in Manipur, more suspects identified in May 4th case. So here this article which is talking about the issue in Manipur between Meiteis and as well as Kukis. So already we discussed this topic and you have to see this. And here you can see NIA files charge sheet against 9 accused linked to BKI and Khalistan Tiger Foods. So you have to see what is this NIA. Okay. And if you move on, you can see this article, Telangana to give rupees 1 lakh assistance to minorities with 100% subsidy. So if you are from Telangana state, you can go through this article so that you can remember the schemes of your state. And editorial page, there is article regarding the exports or decreasing. Okay. And most of the articles are not much important. And here regarding artificial intelligence, we discuss this topic. And the opinion page, I discussed this topic regarding Uniform Civil Code. In the text and context, I discussed this topic ED power, and I discussed this generic supply of bedaquiline article. And this news page, there is article regarding ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India in Varanasi to begin scientific survey of Nanvapi Mosque complex. So I discussed this topic. And next topic is Japanese foreign minister to visit India this week, discuss vision for global south, and I discussed about what is this global south and what is significance of this global south also. And here you can see this article regarding widespread support to Prime Minister proposal on African Union membership I discussed. And here you have to see this facts regarding G20. And here you can see G20 disaster risk meeting commences in Chennai today. So after once this meeting is done, we will be getting highlights. So in tomorrow's articles, we will be getting this. And in the news page, you can see 75 people still untraced in landslip. So already we discussed about what is this concept of landslip. And if you move on, here you can see a different kettle of fish. Kashmir wants Europe to taste its trout. So here you have to see what is this trout farming. So please let me know what exactly meaning of this trout farming. And in the world page, there is nothing much important. And if you move on to the last page, that is back page, there is article that is regarding climate targets. So go through this article once. So these are some important articles that appear in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I am concluding. So try to subscribe to this Rathod Science Academy and hit the bell icon so that you will be getting notification whenever we are posting the video. And we are going to post lot of videos regarding current affairs, regarding mains answer writing practice, and you can also get the shorts regarding the current affairs also. And if you really like this video, hit the like button and share this video with your friends also. Thank you so much.